What to do when it feels like your food is never enough. Do you find yourself feeling unsatisfied at meals, like you just want something more? Do you eat until you feel uncomfortably stuffed before you know that mealtime is over? If so, then this video is for you. Hey friends, my name is Christina, and on this channel I talk about lean eating skills and the psychology of fat loss while keeping plenty of fun in life. So, you might struggle with ending your meals feeling like you aren't satisfied with just enough, and I can relate. For the longest time, I didn't think my meal was over unless I cleaned my plate or I felt so full I was almost uncomfortable. Some of my clients have shared similar stories of frustration with their chronic overeating, but they didn't have the tools or understanding of how to address it. Let me give you an example. Maybe you've just baked a fresh batch of chocolate chip cookies, and one cookie is just not satisfying enough. You want to eat several, or it's not enough. Or maybe you're eating dinner and you have a plate of it, but one plate didn't satisfy, so you go back for more helpings and more. Does this sound like you? Here's what I want you to try. Think back to one of those moments where you felt like one serving or even two wasn't appealing, and the only thing that would satisfy was eating several servings. Can you try to determine what is going on there? What exactly is this fear of stopping when you're physically satisfied or stopping after one serving? What bad thing might happen if you only have one or two servings? Is there some kind of negative feeling you're trying to avoid? Is there some kind of positive feeling that you're trying to prolong? This is another common thing I hear from clients. You might narrow it down. Maybe you're struggling with scarcity mindset. This is super common with the people I work with. If they allow themselves to have some kind of food that they've decided is a bad food that's normally off limits, they think, I just need to eat all of it so it's no longer in the house. That way I can be rid of it once and for all. Then I can try and be better again tomorrow. The trick to overcome many food challenges is you first have to identify what the thought is behind the behavior. In this case, I need to eat it all. Then you want to come up with a response that will help you in the moment. The trick is you have to prime your brain to be ready to fight back against these thoughts the next time they pop up. Here's a possible response to, this is bad food, I better finish all of it and start from a clean slate tomorrow. You might say something like, sure, some foods are more nutrient dense and some are more calorie dense than others, but there's no such thing as a bad food. If I like the taste of a food, I can accept that, and I can work it into my eating in a portion size that works for me, and as often as it works for me. Trying to never eat a food that I really enjoy just isn't realistic. I can eat all of it now to avoid overeating it again tomorrow, but that doesn't feel like much of a win. Another option is I can just throw it away if I want it out of my environment, or I can share this delicious food with someone else. It might help me to only get single servings of this food in the future so I don't overeat them, but I can still enjoy them. Another common thought that comes up with eating until being uncomfortably full is people who struggle with eating very fast. The meal is over so quickly that they have a hard time feeling satisfied from their meal because their brains don't even realize that they've eaten. So they might think, I need a lot of this food to taste and enjoy it to prolong that mealtime. You could identify this thought and in turn respond with, I love to enjoy and taste my food, and I really don't want to miss out on that. I would be able to enjoy the food more if I pay attention to it and don't hurry to eat it as fast as possible. It will help me with slowing down to remind myself that there's plenty of food. I can eat more soon when I'm hungry again. Eating fast is a common theme among people who have dieted a lot in the past. If you have dealt with any kind of food restriction, then one way people often cope with the stress of it is just to eat really quickly. You can remind yourself that I don't need to do that anymore, and it's actually working against myself to eat really fast, and I don't really get to enjoy my food after all. One thing that can help is eating mindfully and try to feel the texture of the food in your mouth or describe what the flavors are. It requires that you slow down. Focus on these things though. Maybe you can start with paying really close attention to just your first 3 to 5 bites and see how it goes. You can feel satisfied from your meals and not have to feel like someone needs to roll you away from the table every time you eat a meal. Take a few moments, listen to your body, and try to savor your food as you slow down a bit. So those are just 2 examples of thoughts that you might have if you're someone who has a challenging time stopping before you get to be uncomfortably full, or when one serving of food just isn't enough. What other thoughts have you had about this? If these sound like you, give these responses a try, and even try to come up with some of your own responses. I would love to hear you share in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found something helpful from today's video. If you want more lean eating skills just like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.